This podcast is brought to you by Sci-Fi, the world leader in psychology fitness training. Sci-Fi is scientifically proven to help you optimize your physical, mental, and emotional performance through functional training of your brain, body, and breath. For the first time, have your own clinical psychologist, personal trainer, life coach, breathwork teacher, and mediation instructor all in one. Instead of having to wait months or even years for results, you get them in 75 minutes or less. That's the Sci-Fi difference. Rewire your brain, retrain your body, and refocus your breath. Learn more at psyfi.nyc.
It's been said, you, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life.
In the ring, I control my own destiny.
Absolutely.
I win, I lose. It's in my hands.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
I face life head on, but I've learned to welcome the challenges even in the ring.
From the boxing side of it, every time we fall, we get back up.
That's what Life's Tough, Boxers Are Tougher is all about. In the guest corner, he comes to us from Bellport, New York. His record, a perfect one. 12 wins, 0 defeats, 4 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome to the podcast, the fighting pride of Bellport, New York, and a current candidate for the Suffolk Police Department, El Torro, Alex Vargas. Torro, how you doing, pal?
How's it going? Everything's good. Staying busy.
Good, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So how you doing? Everything going all right? You're staying in great shape, I would imagine.
Yeah, always stay in great shape. Stay running every day. As far as boxing, not so much in the gym with the schedule, but definitely staying in shape. Not boxing shape, but in shape.
How's the gym? How's the new gym going?
It's good. It's busy. It got busy much quicker than I thought. We opened up in December, and I think we're already at like 60 members. It's like busy every night. So for such a short amount of time, it's grown a lot.
Yeah, that's it's impressive, man. What a really nice place. Really blew me away when I went. I mean, the place is an absolute palace, and I know you've been in some of the local Long Island gyms, and so have I. So that's definitely a cut above.
Yeah, we're fortunate with one of my sponsors, Profit, wanting to give us that space, and got some good equipment, got some stuff from the old gym, and it's right in the middle of like Long Island, so it's a good spot.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. Everything else good? Personal life good?
Yeah, everything's good.
Nice. So, the name of our show is Life's Tough, Boxers Are Tougher. Tell us why you're tougher than life.
Tougher than life. I mean, as far as like making a decision to walk away from boxing.
Yeah, I figure that's a pretty tough one. So definitely talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough decision for me, was to step away from boxing. I think it would have been easier a few years ago, but I was right at that point. I was 12-0, and I was ready to get a bigger opportunity. I could have seen myself on like the Joe Smith undercard this upcoming weekend or the next weekend, at Madison Square Garden, where every fighter wants to fight. So I was right at that point. And then when I got offered this job with the Suffolk County Police Department, I had to make a decision, as to like what I wanted to do. So that was tough, knowing how hard I've worked the last few years to get to where I'm at. Like I said, I was moving up pretty quick. I had my first main event, not too long ago. And, this came about. So to step away, it's really tough, just watching everyone else that I've been in the ring with and stuff like that, fighting on TV. And I'm kind of, over here on a break, basically. But it was definitely the right decision. I mean, being a Suffolk County police officer was one of my dream jobs. I mean, my dream job along with being a pro boxer. So it took 3 years just to get the call to start processing. And then it was like another 6 months of interviews and stuff like that. So when I got the official offer, I had to jump on it.
Where were you when you got the offer?
When I got the offer, where was I? I think I actually just got home from the gym. I just got home, and then I got the call, and they were like, "You have to come in right away, if we want this job, and sign paperwork." And I remember I kind of knew it was coming because they don't really let you know, but I had to kind of find out. And November, that's why I took that last fight at the Paramount on like 2 weeks notice, because I knew I could get one more in before I had to join the academy. And I remember stressing out because I didn't know when I was going to start. I got that bad cut on my eye.
Yeah.
So, you can't be injured, obviously, going into the academy, but it was like mid to early January, I ended up getting the call. And yeah, I just got home from the gym.
What draws you to want to be a police officer?
It's just one of those things. I feel like being a boxer, I feel like it's just one of those natural things that, you have to want to be. I feel like you won't be successful being a boxer or a police officer, if it's not in you. So I just think it's really neat where it's a job where you really have an impact, where it's like, that's why I went for teaching also, because you have an actual impact on people, whether it's older people, younger people, males, females. You can have an impact positively if you want on so many people's lives. So I think that's the main thing, just being able to have an impact and, not just, sit behind the desk and do paperwork, which there's nothing wrong with. I personally just want to make an impact, and that's where I can do it the most.
Yeah. Talk a little bit more about that. So, were you ever impacted, or did you have any experiences with the police? A positive experience with the police?
I never really ran into the police like that. When I did speak to police officers that were off duty, they were really cool. They were very professional, especially out here in Suffolk County. So seeing that, they're always well dressed, clean cut, and that makes you want to join a department that's like that has that reputation. But as far as me encountering police a lot and talking to them, not really. But I think also seeing what has been happening recently has made me want to be a police officer even more, because they're kind of getting a bad reputation, and like I said, just myself, I can make an impact. And, if people just, when I get out there, when they can deal with me, if they have a positive impact with me, it'll change their view. And hopefully other police officers will have a better feeling and be more confident on what to do, because, it's tough out there right now. So I just think police officers need to get that good reputation back again.
That's great, man. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's terrific that you have that outlook and that, that thought, is definitely, and you definitely be a credit. Tell us a little bit about the process now, like what you're going through and where you see yourself moving, moving forward.
Yeah. Well, the process, it's been a long one. Like I said, I took the test in 2019. And then I just got called in January, and that was after going through, a bunch of interviews, a polygraph, whole bunch of things like that. So now I'm actually in the academy. I started January. I graduate mid-August. So slowly getting there, but it's been a lot of fun. It's tough. It's just very strict, shaving every day, short hair, learning the law, learning how to shoot a gun, learning how to drive. And, they're on you every day, but it's for the best. And, I'm enjoying it. I feel like boxing has helped me with that, having the discipline and working hard, whenever we do physical training and stuff like that. So I think I enjoy it a lot, and a lot of people are like confused as to the fact that to why I'm enjoying the academy, because we're getting yelled at all the time and stuff like that. But I just like it, just I think it's fun. You meet good people. You're learning a job, and it's kind of like a fight. You prepare for a fight to perform your best. So these 7 months are preparing to go out there and be the best police officer you could be.
Yeah, tell us. So I love that concept. Tell us a little bit more about that. So, like, tell us about like some of the stuff like you said. Like, what aspects of it do you like the best? Like, so you like driving the cars, you like the shooting the guns, you like the physical part. I imagine for a guy like you, this is probably the most physical activity you've done without hitting each other, without hitting somebody. So, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's I think the most fun stuff is, like shooting the guns, going to the range, driving the cars as if you're on a pursuit, and, taser training, all of that. We have active shooter coming up.
Yeah.
That's all the fun stuff for me because, I've never done it. There are a lot of people that have prior time, whether it's NYPD or military, and I don't. So learning this stuff for the first time for me is very interesting and a lot of fun. And obviously very important, but that's probably been the most fun part. You have your good days, your bad days, your boring weeks where, you're just in the book all week learning about all of these laws. And you never realize, how much there is out there and what it takes to actually make an arrest or be able to search a person. There's so much that goes behind it. So, that's more of the boring stuff. But for the most part, even when we get in trouble, I'm like, it's fun. It makes memories, to be honest.
The as far as the physical training is concerned, what are the similarities and what are the differences between boxing? And also, too, do you do any like hand-to-hand combat in the training there too? Because I would imagine you'd be a pretty unfair. You'd be the guy I would not want to be matched up with in that.
Yeah. Well, as far as the training, I mean, it's obviously not as much. We'll do maybe 3 miles or 1.5, depending on the day. It's a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, and to a lot of people, it is a lot of running and stuff like that. But obviously, boxers train. They're doing that every day, twice a day, running 4 miles and going to train at night and being on a strict diet. So, as far as working out, it is tough, but it's just something I'm so used to throughout the years that whether when it does get tough, to push through, and that you're capable of doing the entire workout. And as far as physical, like the combat training, we do have defensive tactics. We did do some striking like the first few weeks, but it wasn't much. We do more like jujitsu and grappling and stuff like that because I think they really don't want to teach people to go out there and just punch people in the face. They obviously you can if you have to.
Of course not.
If you're in that life or death situation, but I think the grappling aspect is more important when it comes to putting someone in cuffs and having control of someone without having to punch them in the face. But sometimes you have to.
Hey, I would imagine. Yeah, you gotta. You're gonna have to do what you have to do. But I also know. The one thing I always find that cracks me up the most is that when it comes to like people that are kind of like, and this is gonna come across lame, but I'll say it anyway, like gentle people. Like most of the people that I know that are the most gentle people are boxers. Because they know what it means to be not gentle. They know what it means to be like. So I know guys that are just like the nicest. We had Tim Witherspoon on. You couldn't find a nicer, more gentle guy than that. Obviously, you don't want to be in the ring and get hit with his right hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do find that, and I think it's pretty interesting. You're actually, believe it or not, you're our second police. You're our second boxer turned police. I guess policeman is still the right word. Second boxer, policeman on our show. We had Mark Medal, who was the inaugural IBF champ. So this is pretty neat. We're pretty excited about it. You talked about making a difference in law enforcement. I think that you can't find a more noble cause than that. obviously neither one of us has any say in this, but write the script for me. Like, where would you like to, like, what would you like your career to look like in the Suffolk County Police?
I just right now I just can't wait to get out there and actually, start working and get out into the real world and graduate the academy and learn to be a police officer. From there, I mean, there's so many different routes you can go. I would like to move up and go the boss route, maybe become a sergeant or a lieutenant, something like that. But there are so many different routes you can go. You could go into gang, you could go into narcotics, K9. So I think once I get out there and learn the job, that's when I'll really know like which way I want to go with it and what I enjoy doing the most. But for right now, it's just going to be, when I get out there, it's just going to be a patrol cop. And, I heard that's a great experience, a lot of fun. And then from there, wherever I can go and move up or go into different special units, I'll do it depending on what I like.
Yeah, that's terrific. You miss boxing?
I do. At first, I didn't too much. It was, because I just fought and then I got into the academy, and obviously it was a job I've always wanted. And then you get used to kind of living a normal life, which we don't as boxers really, with the training and the cutting weight and the diet. So I kind of, I was enjoying it. And then once I started watching boxing, some fights were coming on, and I went back to the Paramount, watched some fights. I was like, all right, yeah, I do miss it. Because, the academy was new at the time. So now that it's been like 5 months now it's when it's like, all right, I do miss being in boxing and the whole aspect of it.
Will you be allowed to compete after you become a policeman?
They said I can. Right when I graduate the academy, I'll be good to go. Just during the academy, I can't because, I can't get injured, and that delays the entire process. But once I'm done, said I'm good to go. So.
Yeah. I know that on a couple of the Star Boxing shows there was another policeman, Etienne, fought. He actually fought at he fought at St. John's, and then he went to did his tour.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He actually took the fight, and then he was like, I was like, oh, where you headed? And he goes, I gotta go to work. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Good for him.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we admire you very much. I think what you're doing is tremendous. Selfishly, obviously, we want to see you back in the ring, but I, definitely admire the fact that you did this.
Thank you.
So great stuff. So it definitely proved to me that you're tougher than life. Question now, though, is: are you tougher than the Fast Five? Do you think you could do the Fast Five with us?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Let's see what we could do here. Funny too. I was when I prepped to do the interviews, I try to watch a lot of the fighters' fights that we talk to. I was in a very unique position with you because I have literally seen of your 12 fights, I've literally seen 8 of them, and I've been in person for 8 of the fights. So wow. I didn't see any of the Florida fights, but I saw all of your fights here. If anybody gets a chance, check them out on YouTube and see some of the fights, because always an action-packed and great job. And I've been with you 100%, except for when you fought my man Deshaun. I was actually I was in his corner.
That was a good fight, though.
It was a great fight. You guys were that's what it's all about. It was tremendous. Yeah. And I remember telling him that. I said, listen, it's better to lose to a guy like Alex Vargas in a great fight than to beat some tomato can. And he appreciated that. So that was a great fight. A lot of fun.
It was good that we took that fight, so early, and we were both undefeated. And I like Deshaun a lot. He's a really, humble guy, hard worker. Obviously when you build up to a fight, you have that, where you're obviously going to fight each other. But after the fight, he's such a cool guy, and I knew that before.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a great dude. So, all right, let's do some Fast 5 questions here. So, who's your favorite fighter growing up?
Favorite fighter growing up was Mike Tyson. by far.
Nice. Any fight of his that sticks out?
I think against, who was it, Spinks, when he came out without any music. It was just like chains clanging, and he got rid of him in like 32 seconds. I didn't grow up with him, obviously, in his prime. I was, he was already done basically, but that's how I got into boxing, was watching. My dad showed me his fights, so I've watched all of his fights.
Who this is off the cuff here, but who's your who do you think who's your dad's favorite fighter? Your dad's a great guy, by the way. I absolutely love your father, and him and I are working on a couple things together for Long Island Boxing Charity. So,
Cool.
So who's his favorite?
Yeah, his was Tyson. That's how he showed me, and then that's when I kind of fell in love with boxing, was watching Tyson's fights. So that's his favorite fighter of all time.
Nice. This is a tricky one. Which gym do you think smells worse? Atlantic Veterans, where we both came out of, or your dad's old gym in Patchogue?
That's an easy one. That's Atlantic Veterans by far. There's no worse smell than that. I've been plenty of boxing gyms. That's the worst one by far I've ever smelled.
Yeah, I think they might be the undisputed champ of smelly gyms. One of my favorite places in the world, but man, it does stink in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got obviously a great nickname, El Torro. I love that nickname. I think it suits your fight style too. What's your favorite boxing nickname?
I think this is a tough one. I mean, there are a lot out there. I do like Lomachenko's being the Matrix.
That's pretty cool.
Because I just think I've never heard that before personally on any other fighter, and just the way he fights is literally the Matrix. I mean, his style fits it so well, and I don't think it fits any other fighter like that. That's why it was never used. So I think that's probably one of the neatest ones.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great pick, by the way. All right, tell us a funny, so I'll ask you a loaded question first, and then you can hit on it. So what are you walking around at right now? Are you in pretty close to what you normally walk around at when you're fighting?
Yeah, I'm between 170 and 175 right now. And people are always like, wow, you're really big, but that's usually what I walk around between fights. And that's, with running and still eating pretty clean. I don't know, I just carry some more weight, but yeah, definitely about 170, 175.
Tell us your funniest weight loss story, or your favorite weight loss story.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of moments I've had cutting weight that, I mean, they're funny, but they're kind of like disturbing because you're so delusional cutting weight. I mean, I remember running to open the door for my dad in Florida because he was knocking. I fell asleep. And I went and I got up too quick. And I remember I opened the door. It looked like he said he saw like a zombie. And I just kind of like fell back against the wall and was just kind of slowly falling down. And he grabbed me. But I think, yeah, that's bad. But the funniest one was probably I was getting so I was cutting weight. It was like the day before weigh-ins, and I was just kind of losing my mind. I just was like, I don't like the way my haircut looks. So I started buzzing my head. Yeah, that's just from being so delusional, because I remember after I rehydrated, I'm like, what the heck was I doing? Sometimes you're just so out of it. I was just like, I don't like it. I just started buzzing my head. And then I remember after I ate and rehydrated, I'm like, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Giving myself a haircut, but it's crazy what cutting weight does.
Oh man, that's I got to tell you that might be my favorite story we've heard so far on that.
Yeah.
Giving yourself.
I telling my mom. I think I FaceTime my mom like right after, and she's like, "What did you just do?" I'm like, "I just buzzed my head." She's like, she started laughing because she's obviously seen me when I've cut weight and how delusional I get. So she's like, "Don't do that."
Well, listen, if the El Toro nickname doesn't work out, maybe we go with the barber.
Yeah,
Alex the barber. Alex the barber Vargas. That might work. Yeah. Oh, the Bellport barber.
The Bellport barber, yeah.
I might get we might do a T-shirt for you on that one. I like that one a lot. Okay, so that's a good one. So We usually do tell a clean joke, but we'll let you slide on that one because you're I know you've got a lot of stuff going on. But tell us a funny Andre Rozier story, and tell us something that he's totally going to be mad at when he hears you tell the story.
Oh man,
everybody
Andre,
I've talked to has like at least every guy I know that either trains with him or knows him has like 5 ridiculously funny stories about him. So I'm dying to hear what you got.
I'm trying to think of. I've been around him so much that I'm trying to think of one. One I definitely can't say. That's but
that's one. I guarantee. That's something we'll talk that one offline.
Yeah.
Cameras off.
I think just man, there's so many. I'm trying to think. My dad probably has the most because they talk every single day. But the funniest things are him. I think just that. I think the funniest ones of him. I've never gotten trunks done by him for this reason, but it's him. Literally, he'll come, fly out. You know, when I was fighting in Florida, I already waited. It's like 6 p.m. On fight night. My dad goes over. It's like midnight to Andre's room or whatever, and Andre's sitting there doing his trunks, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Yeah.
Making his custom trunks, and it's just funny because all of these fighters are freaking out, like, where are my trunks? And he's at my fight the next night, but then he has to make someone else's fight like the following day to drop him off the trunks. Like, I fought Friday night, and then Saturday night he had to fly from Florida to New York to turn in like Joe Smith's trunks or something, and he'll go running into the locker room like 10 minutes before they fight and give him trunks. So it's funny because I hear all these stories, but I'm actually there when he's finishing them up, and it's like no worry to Andre. Like, it's like he loves that adrenaline of getting the trunks down time because it's like it's nothing. He'll sit there and talk to you, and it's like 1 a.m. when he's finishing trunks that have to be delivered tomorrow.
Yeah.
And as a fighter, you obviously want them way before. And whatever Andre says, he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then next thing you know, you're getting them 5 minutes before you fight.
That is a good one. That's awesome. Tell the listeners where they can find you on social media. I mean, I know you're probably in a little bit of a respite, but when you're coming back, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at AlexVargas631 and on Facebook at Alex Vargas or Alex Vargas Boxing.
Well, again, I can't thank you enough, pal. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
That's going to be the final bell for today's podcast. If you like what you hear, give us a like and hit the subscribe button with your best power punch. You can check us out at Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and anywhere you can find quality podcasts. We hope our stories inspire you to fight on. We thank you for listening, and remember, life's tough, boxers are tougher. Have a great week, everyone.